All right, so you're ready to jump into artisan papermaking.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's such a mix of like art and history and just craft. And you want to like totally nail that interview.
Right.
We got your notes and we have some great insights from RoleCatcher to help you do that.
It's really interesting how this craft has like lasted for centuries.
Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
digital age, there's something really special about creating something tangible and beautiful
Absolutely.
with your hands.
And I think that's what interviewers are looking for, right? That
Yeah.
genuine passion and connection to the craft.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump into some questions that they might ask you.
Okay.
The first one is almost guaranteed.
Okay.
What inspired you to become an artisan papermaker?
This is your chance to really show off like what sparked your interest.
Right.
Anyone can say that they like paper.
Yeah.
But what's your story?
Totally. What's your story?
Yeah.
Did you find like a beautifully crafted journal that just blew your mind? Was there a papermaking demonstration that you saw that was just mesmerizing?
Yeah.
Think about the details, the texture of the paper, the movements of the process.
When you share a specific experience,
Yeah.
it helps the interviewer to connect with you on a personal level.
Okay.
It shows that you've thought deeply about why this craft resonates with you.
I see.
And that's something that RoleCatcher's AI can really help you with.
Okay, cool.
So, by analyzing tons of interview questions and answers,
Yeah.
it can help tailor your response to the specific job that you're applying for.
Like you have an interview coach in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Now, another question that you'll likely be asked
Okay.
is how do you ensure the quality of your paper products?
Ooh, that's a good one. So this one's all about just being super meticulous, right?
Absolutely. They want to see that you're not just churning out paper,
Right.
but that you're really committed to the craft.
Yeah.
Think about your process. How do you inspect each batch?
Do you have specific criteria for thickness, texture, color?
Don't be afraid to get specific either.
Yeah.
Mentioning tools like a micrometer for measuring thickness or a light table for examining the formation of the paper shows you are serious about quality control.
It also shows you have a deep understanding of the technical aspects of the craft.
Speaking of technical aspects, let's talk about balancing creativity with practicality.
Right.
Interviewers often ask,
Okay.
how do you balance creativity with practicality in your paper products?
Right.
How do you walk that line between your artistic vision and what's actually functional?
Well, this is a chance to show off your design philosophy.
Okay.
Do you picture what the paper will be used for before you even start?
Interesting.
Have you ever had to adapt a wild idea
Yeah.
to make it work for a client?
Ooh, I bet you have some stories about that.
Oh, I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Sharing an anecdote that highlights this tension between creativity and practicality can be really effective. It shows you can solve problems and find creative solutions within constraints.
And I think RoleCatcher can actually help you refine those anecdotes and make them even more impactful.
Right.
Practice your answers through their platform, and the AI will analyze your delivery. It'll give you suggestions on your tone, your pacing, and just the overall presentation.
It's amazing how technology can even help the most traditional craft.
Totally.
Speaking of which, interviewers are also curious about your commitment to staying current.
Oh.
They might ask you, how do you stay up to date with new techniques and trends in papermaking?
So this is where you get to show that you're a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Do you follow blogs, attend workshops, and experiment with new fibers? And don't just name drop the techniques.
Right.
Briefly explain what excites you about them.
Yeah. For instance, if you mention washi, which is a traditional Japanese papermaking technique,
Right.
you could briefly describe its unique qualities, like its strength and delicate texture. This shows that you have a genuine interest in exploring different approaches to your craft.
I see. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by the amount of information out there,
Right.
RoleCatcher's got you covered.
Yeah.
They have over 3,000 career guides and 13,000 skill guides, including a bunch on artisan papermaking.
Wow. It's like having a library at your fingertips,
Oh, yeah.
helping you stay ahead of the curve without being overwhelmed.
Okay. Let's move on to a question that's all about the people skills.
Okay.
Every artisan has to be a good listener.
Right.
So be prepared for how do you handle customer feedback, both positive and negative.
This is all about showing that you value customer relationships and that you're always trying to improve.
Okay.
You want to start by emphasizing that you appreciate all feedback.
Right.
It helps you to grow as an artisan.
So it's important to have a system in place for gathering and responding to feedback.
Yeah.
Do you have an online survey?
Mm-hmm.
Do you reach out to clients after a project? Sharing those details shows that you're organized and proactive.
Exactly. And when it comes to negative feedback,
Okay.
the key is to stay calm,
Yeah.
be professional,
Mm-hmm.
and really focus on finding a solution.
Right.
Acknowledge the customer's concerns.
Yeah.
Offer a sincere apology,
Uh-huh.
and explain how you plan to address the issue.
It's also helpful to have an example ready.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a situation where a batch of paper wasn't as thick as the client expected. How'd you handle it?
Right. Walking them through the problem-solving process
Yeah.
shows your commitment to quality and customer satisfaction.
And you know what?
Right.
RoleCatcher's AI can even analyze your tone of voice
Oh, wow.
when you're practicing these answers.
Interesting.
It can pick up on hints of defensiveness or negativity,
Uh-huh.
helping you refine your delivery to sound more empathetic.
Yeah.
It's like having a virtual communication coach.
Right.
Okay, let's tackle a question that can be a little bit tricky.
Okay.
How do you price your paper products? This is where your business thinks comes in.
Definitely. You need to find a balance between being paid fairly for your time, skills, and materials, but also, being competitive in the market.
Right. So break it down for them.
Okay.
Explain how you factor in material costs, labor overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to highlight your unique value as an artisan.
Right.
The handcrafted nature of your paper, the attention to detail, the sustainable materials.
Yeah.
All of those can justify a higher price point.
You're not just selling a sheet of paper.
Right?
You're selling a piece of art, a story, an experience.
That's a good point. And actually, RoleCatcher can help you research average prices
Oh, wow.
for similar products in your area.
That's really useful.
Now, let's talk about getting your work out there.
Okay.
How do you market your paper products?
Yeah, right.
This is where you showcase that entrepreneurial spirit.
It's about having a diverse approach.
Okay.
Start with your online presence. Do you have a website? An Etsy shop?
Right.
Are you active on social media?
Yeah.
Where you can visually show off your creations.
And don't forget those in-person connections.
Right.
Craft fairs, local markets. Those are great opportunities to connect with people face-to-face.
Yeah, and you get instant feedback.
Right. And remember, word-of-mouth marketing is really valuable.
It really is, especially for artisans.
Encourage customers to spread the word by offering referral discounts or loyalty programs.
Exactly. You're building a community.
Yeah. A savvy interviewer might ask, how do you differentiate your paper products from the competition?
This is where you really want to highlight what makes you special.
Right.
What makes your paper unique? Are you using local sustainable materials?
Right.
Do you specialize in a specific technique, like that Japanese washi we were talking about earlier? Do you offer custom designs or maybe collaborate with other artists?
Think about what sets you apart.
Right.
And really make it clear. And guess what?
What's that?
RoleCatcher's AI
Yeah.
can analyze your answers to this question and give you suggestions on how to make your unique selling propositions even more compelling and memorable.
It's like having a marketing consultant right in your pocket.
Now let's address the elephant in the room,
Okay.
the physical demands of this craft.
Yeah.
They might ask, how do you handle the physical demands of papermaking?
Honesty is key here.
Yeah.
Papermaking can be physically demanding.
Right.
It involves repetitive motions, lifting, standing for long periods.
So acknowledge those challenges,
Yeah.
but also highlight how you stay healthy and injury-free.
Right. Do you practice proper lifting techniques?
Yeah.
Do you take breaks to stretch and move around? Do you have an ergonomic setup in your studio?
Sharing those details shows that you take care of yourself.
Right.
And that's important to any employer.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher can be a resource here.
Oh, cool.
Their AI can connect you with ergonomic equipment suppliers.
Wow.
Or even recommend exercises that are designed to prevent injuries common in papermaking.
That's incredible how this technology can support both the artistic and practical aspects of the crafts.
Pretty amazing.
Now, before we wrap up, let's go back to that first question.
Right.
What inspired you to become an artisan papermaker?
Yeah,
Remember, this is your chance to make a lasting impression.
it is.
Think about how your passion for papermaking aligns with the company's values or products.
Right.
Do they emphasize sustainability?
Okay.
Talk about your love of natural fibers and eco-friendly practices.
If they specialize in high-end stationery,
Yeah.
Emphasize your attention to detail and craftsmanship.
So by tailoring your answer to the company,
Yeah.
you show that you've done your research
Mm-hmm.
and are genuinely interested in their team.
Exactly.
And RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the company's website and job description
Wow.
to help you find those key points of alignment.
It's like having a personal researcher working for you.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. We've explored the world of artisan papermaking. We've talked about tough interview questions,
Yes.
and we've even talked about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you land your dream job.
But before we wrap up, let's talk about what happens after the interview.
Okay.
You nailed it. You got the job.
Right.
Now, what
Right.
are some things to keep in mind as you start this exciting career? It's like leveling up in papermaking.
What's interesting is RoleCatcher doesn't just stop at the interview.
Right.
Their career guides really look at the realities of the job.
Okay.
Like, did you know that artisan papermaking can be pretty demanding physically?
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit before, but it's good to emphasize it.
Exactly. RoleCatcher reminds us that you're going to be on your feet a lot, lifting pulp using different tools.
Right. So they offer tips on, like, staying healthy.
Yeah.
From ergonomics to stretching.
Exactly.
It's like a health coach that understands papermaking.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Right.
What about the business side of things?
Yeah.
A lot of artisan papermakers are also like entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher has resources for that.
Okay, cool. Like what?
From pricing to marketing, specifically for handmade goods.
Okay.
They have info on craft fairs and online marketplaces.
So they really guide you through those early stages.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're building your business, you're taking care of your health.
Right.
What about the art?
Yeah. How do you keep that passion alive?
Right. When you're dealing with running a business.
That's so important. RoleCatcher really emphasizes continuous learning.
Okay.
You know, they encourage you to try new fibers, experiment with techniques, even connect with other artists.
So it's about making time for that creative side.
Yeah.
Even when you're busy with orders and stuff.
Exactly.
I love that because at the end of the day, that's what makes it special, right?
It is.
That passion, that connection to the craft.
And RoleCatcher gets that.
Yeah.
They offer resources that support not just the career, but the artist.
So for anyone listening who is feeling that pull towards papermaking,
Yeah.
what's like one piece of advice?
Embrace the journey. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be rewarding.
Yeah.
And it will be full of surprises.
I bet.
Allow yourself to experiment, to learn, to grow.
And you're not alone.
No, you're not.
There's a whole community out there
Mm-hmm.
and resources like RoleCatcher to help.
Yeah.
That's great. So as you step into this world, remember those textures,
Yes.
those moments of creativity.
Let your passion guide you.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to make your mark on this craft.
That's it for our deep dive into the world of artisan papermaking.
Yes.
We hope you found it informative and inspiring.
And we wish you all the best in your career.